Welcome back to Miles and Miles TV. Hope you guys are all doing well. For today's video, we're going to be doing something kind of different today. I'm going to be taking you around town still, but we're going to be focusing on the infrastructure. So in any town in Nunavut, our entire infrastructure, such as sewage, electrical, and all of that important stuff that you need to survive, instead of it being underground like how it is in most cities, it's above ground. So for today's video, I kind of want to show you what an above ground support system looks like. So I'll be taking you around to various parts of town and just kind of showing you how they work and what they are. Behind me, we have a pretty decent view of the river. I just really want to get that in the shot. And some kids want to say hi.
Hi!
They're going to be young vloggers pretty soon. Alright, so first things first, in Nunavut, we don't have an underground infrastructure. So in any major or regular town and city, there are underground pipes and electrical lines, fuel lines. Everything that you need is buried below ground. But all of our essential services, because we have permafrost year round, has to be above ground. And because of that, it needs to be filled above ground. So the first thing I'm going to show you is our fuel tank. Alright, so if you look over here, this giant tank that has pipes, this is my house's, or my unit rather, fuel tank. So what will actually happen is a fuel truck will come here once every other day or every 2 days, or when you need it, and it will actually fill this with fuel. I managed to record some of the fuel workers doing it to another unit, so I'm going to stitch that in to this video so you guys can see what I mean. So one more thing to kind of mention, a worker essentially will come out, they'll climb up that ladder there, and then they will hook their fuel line into the actual tank itself, and then they'll dump diesel into these tanks. And these tanks here is what generates the power. One more interesting thing to kind of mention is that any truck that is a red cab sort of in the front with a tank in the back means it's holding diesel or holding fuel. Our system out here is color coded, so different cab colors represent different items that that actual truck is actually carrying. Alright, so the next thing to talk about is these. Every single unit will have a spout that kind of sticks out like this, along with a little red light. So essentially what this is for sewage. We all have septic tanks because there is no pipe system here. Alright, so just a different angle. So like I was saying before, right here, that little spout is where the sewage truck, is actually what we call it, will come and pump out sewage from your septic tank. When this red light, or this light here turns red rather, that means that your septic tank is full. And when it's full, you don't get any water. There is no water at all. So you have to kind of wait till the next day until the workers can come and pump it out. And yeah, so it's always mindful here to consider how much water and how much waste you're actually putting out, because sometimes you won't have enough water and you gotta kind of wait till the next day. So water usage here is very, very critical. Alright, so I'm just gonna bring you around to the back side of the unit. We were just over here, which is the front. So this is the back side over here. I'm trying to watch my steps, but you can kind of see the tanks under every single unit. Those are the septic tanks and water tanks. I'm just kind of bring you around this way. Speaking of that, perfect timing. We have a water truck about to go right by. So because that is a white cab, that is a water truck. So that truck is going to be bringing water to the units that are in need. And the water trucks usually come every day or at least 6 days a week. So anyways, over here we have our septic tanks, and every single unit will have their own septic tank. Sometimes they will share, but for the most part they have their own. There's also a water tank where the water would go. Sometimes they have them under the units, or sometimes they're actually inside of a central unit within a fiveplex building. The next stop on this journey is towards the pump house. I'm going to do a little bit more explaining as to what this is, but in essence, this is a place where we receive all of the town's fresh water from. This is approximately 3.5 kilometers from town. And along our journey, you'll see a water truck, and you can tell that because it has a white cab and a silver tank, heading from the refill station. It's heading towards town. As you get a little bit closer, you can see the little white building. That is the pump house. Up ahead is what we call the pump house. So this is where we get all of our fresh water from. So I'm going to switch over to a different angle in a bit, show you guys what it looks like from above. But I want to show you guys what it looks like from the ground. So once again, this over here is what we call the pump house. Probably see it just right there. It's a small little hut, but this is the lifeline basically of any town in Nunavut. This is where all the fresh water comes from. It comes from the river and it gets filtered in through here. I'm gonna take you guys inside. I'm gonna show you guys around what it looks like on the inside. I got an exclusive tour courtesy of Miles and Miles TV. And yeah, so the water trucks that are in town, they basically dock at either this station here or that station right there, and they just get filled with water. I can bring you guys a little bit more over here. Once again, this is where they get the water from. And these right here are the pipes. The pipes that basically bring in the fresh water from the river, and then it gets filtered just over here.
Alright, so this is how the water is filtered. Over here is chlorine. So the chlorine is added here. And then these are the filters. So these are the filters here. And then the UV is up there, the purple ones. And these are more filters? Just the opposite side? Okay. And the water is drawn in from here, right?
Yeah, the water comes in there. And those are, this one turbidity meters testing.
Oh, okay, so that's how it gets tested.
That's after the filters.
Okay.
And this one's raw water.
This is for the water. Oh, that's so cool.
Alright, so I managed to catch up with the water truck. So essentially this is the water truck again. Has the white cab, so therefore indicates water. And this is the cord just coming out of it, or the hose rather. And the water is just being attached, flowing in right there. So once again, this is the water truck. And it's just rolling it back. And these are our trash bins. So we have to use wood, specifically for the bears and all the other big animals here, to make sure they can't open it like how they do themselves, like how a raccoon would. So it's all wood here. These are our trash bins up here in Nunavut. All right, and our next stop is at Canadian Tire. Okay, it's not actually Canadian Tire. It's just a joke we have in town. This is where the garbage trucks in town come and dump their waste. This is our garbage dump just outside of town. It actually looks pretty small on camera here, but it goes back really far. So I'm gonna put in a B-roll in a bit so you guys can kind of see from the air just how large this dump actually is. And once again, unlike in the rest of Canada and other more developed places where the garbage is usually put on a train or trucks and brought far away, maybe it's burned, maybe it's recycled. We don't have the luxury being up here in the north, right? We only have a limited time when the ocean is actually not frozen, and in that time it's important for us to get supplies that we will need throughout the year. So a lot of the trash does just kind of stay around here, and this is its final resting place.
Alright, so this truck here is the sewage truck. It looks similar to the water truck, but the tank is more circular and it's not silver. The water truck's a circle, and that's the sewage line that pumps out the sewage. So again, that's a white cab, but it's a bit different than the water truck. You can see that the tank is not silver. It's more of like a circular kind of shape, but it's also not bright and silver like the water truck is. And this kind of hose right here, this is for the sewage line.
Alright, so for our next stop, I'm gonna make this really quick because it smells terrible. And the reason why it does is because we are at the waste treatment facility here in Nunavut, or my town specifically in Nunavut. And what's different between here and in the big city is traditionally there would actually be an entire facility to treat waste before releasing it. But here we don't have that. So we kind of just have to dig a big pit and you end up just dumping a lot of the waste inside. And as you guys can see, this is the Kugaruk waste treatment facility. I'm gonna put in some B-roll clips too, just so you can kind of see what it looks like. This is where all of the waste from the houses and from the town basically gets dumped out in. So that little spout I showed you guys in the beginning of the video, with next to the red light, once the septic tanks are emptied, they are dumped just over there. And with that brings us to the end of my video. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something new. I want to ask if you guys could please like, comment, and subscribe. It would mean so much to a channel like mine. And if you could share it with a friend, that would be great as well. And with that brings us to the end of the video. I hope you guys have a blessed day. Take care.